Welcome back to another breathtaking video of the Wandering Turnip, exploring the seemingly mundane and trying to make it interesting. And today we are talking about prices of things, how much stuff has gotten expensive in recent years. And the focus of this video is going to be the iconic Freddo, the Freddo chocolate bar that we all grew up eating, loving, and spending very little money on back in the day anyway, and how that has risen more in price than any other product. So let's go and try and find a Freddo first, because that will be interesting to see if I can pick one up and see what it costs. But before I do, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think, or how to put it, which product do you think has the biggest markup of any other product? So it's insanely cheap to make and produce, and yet you can charge a fortune for it. What do you think it is? Give some answers and I'll tell you the correct answer in a bit. How much is it for parking these days? 90p per hour, 90p. Oof. You see, we're going to cover lots of different prices today. The Freddo is merely the symbol, the front, the benchmark for all things to follow. Right, I reckon our best bet's going to be in a little newsagents.
Do you need a little bag for it?
No, it's all right, thank you. How much is it per one?
The 35 each.
35 each,
yeah,
that's
so
fine.
it's 140. Like.
140.
Este es un breve mensaje del patrocinador de este video. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck, I didn't realise the Wandering Turnip was fluent at Spanish. And I'm not, but I'm getting a whole lot better thanks to Babel. Now, Ted, come here. Stop making noise if you're going to be in there. Come on. Un perro. Dog. Right, back to the ad. Now, I have gotten so much better at Spanish thanks to using Babel. Now, I've used it for other languages before as well. I'm trying to get fluent at the moment in Spanish. But I've also used it just for shorter trips when I've gone away to France, just to brush up on the basics of the language, just so I can get by. And when you get that, when you just get that little bit of the language in, you have such a better time, because everywhere you go, you are treated differently if you just make an effort. So I absolutely love Babel for that. So at some point, I would love to be fluent in Spanish. However, I also just love sitting around playing on Babel. It's like brain training for me. I just really enjoy the process of learning something completely new in such a fun way. So it's one of the most popular language learning devices worldwide is Babel. And it's just great because it's designed for practical, real life situations, which I love. It's also got a 20-day money-back guarantee. So if you start it and you don't like it, you can just cancel and get your money back. So click the link below or scan this QR code here and you're going to get an amazing 50% off your subscription. Now, if you put in the effort, I guarantee in 3 weeks, you will be amazed at just how good you are getting at speaking languages. I got really, really good at French in just a week putting in the effort. It was ace. So yeah, do check out Babel. They're absolutely great. El siempre es la estrella del espectáculo. Aren't you? Right, back to the video.
Go on. Mission complete, nice and easy at the start, look at that. Okay, so the good news is, Freddos are still super easy to come across. That took no time at all. The first shop that I tried, we were able to pick up many different Freddos. Well, I'll say many different. The two flavours, I think the only two flavours you can get in England are Freddo Normal and Freddo Caramel. The bad news is, well, let's just ask, what do you remember paying for a Freddo as a kid? I remember being 10p. I remember Freddo being 10p, which was just fantastic. That felt like no money at all, and that was probably end of the 90s, early noughties. 10p. Now, I was chatting to my friend yesterday when I said, oh, I'm going to make this video, and he says he remembers paying 8p for one. He's a little bit older. Paying 8p for a Freddo. Now, going back to when the Freddo was first introduced to Britain back in the 70s, they were 2p. 2p for a Freddo. I just paid 35p. Can you see that up there? 35p for a Freddo. So that has tripled in price since the since the end of the 90s, early noughties, tripled in price. So nowhere near inflation. I'm gonna get a graph, I'll put a graph in of just how much the Freddo has atrociously risen in price compared to inflation. Now, I'm getting angry, so I need to eat one and calm down. See if they taste as good as I remember. So yeah, the Freddo is just like a little chalky frog man. Australian chocolate bar. It was, yeah, Freddo Australian. Bought by Cadbury's, I believe, in the 70s. I might have to put some extra history in just now, just to go over the top in case I'm getting it wrong. Oh, fantastic. That is fantastic. And let's just try the Cadbury Freddo caramel. See how that is. Again, just a little chalky frog man. Not fancy. Nothing fancy at all. Sensational. Absolutely sensational. So, as I was making this video, I came across this article that said that the Freddo bar creator would be rolling in his grave at the price today, his daughter says. It also goes on to say that she's vowed to never buy another one. Dad would be disgusted with how small it is now and how much they charge for it. In a world of Lindor, in a world of Thorntons, in the world of bougie dark chocolate, which we're all told to enjoy, let's just all accept that Freddo is the best and tastes better than all the rest. Who's that fella? Who's the man on TV in the adverts that's smiling? Is that Lindor? You know, he's smiling and he looks very happy. Or he looks calm and he makes you feel like you need chocolate. Well, what makes me feel like I need chocolate is the chalky frog. And you might be thinking, David, it's only 35p, chill out, that's still super cheap. What are you moaning for? But no, you should moan, you absolutely should moan, because it's these seemingly insignificant changes in price, these rapid growths of things like Freddo that goes from 10p to 35p that makes it seem like when your rent doubles in such a quick period of time, you go, oh, I guess that's just what happens. I guess that's just what you've got to accept. How could a Freddo possibly be 10p in a world where my rent's just doubled? And that actually has happened recently. So in 2017, me and my mate lived in a flat in the centre of town and we paid £495 for that flat. It was a 2-bed, £495. It recently went on the market again in 2025. It went on for £900. So that literally nearly has doubled. Pretty much just shy of doubling. That's crazy. So say if I got evicted from my current gaff and had to find somewhere new to rent in my hometown, let's see what is available on the market. Right, there's only 3 properties to rent at the moment, 3, and all of them are over £1,000. Look at that, 1,100, 1,100, and an extortionately priced house. Yeah, let's have a look at this flat, a small 2-bedroom flat, 1,100. I kid you not, 2017, this would have been about 600 quid. Anything more than that, and people would have laughed at it and said, that is absolutely appalling. You can't put it on for that. How has it changed so quickly? In what, 8 years? Right, anyway, we are here at Morrison's. Here to look for maybe another Freddo, but also to look for other products which have in recent years gone crazy in recent times. So I want you to let me know as well, what have the products been in recent years that have suddenly shot up, that have affected your shopping, that you've had to cut back on, that you've had to find alternatives to. And I'm going to go and try and find some and show you the ones that I've found. Now, I don't know if they've got security guards in here, so we might have to be a bit sly, but let's do it. Right, here we go. Let's go look at some things that were once cheap and are now expensive. But first, quick look at blackberries. 2 for a £5. Or £3 each. Outside, the roads are covered in these. You're absolutely mad. You're mad if you're spending that at the moment on these. Right, on we go though. And the first product that I want to look at is olive oil, because recently olive oil has been so expensive. Now, what is it for a litre? $5.69 for the basic. Now, that is a lot cheaper than it has been. If you want the good stuff, if you want that extra virgin, you're looking at cheapest is £7, $8.40 if you're not a member. Now, it's become known as liquid gold in some parts of the world because of the heat waves affecting the production of olive oil. It's become such a target for theft. Luckily, there's good old rapeseed to get us through the drought. Now moving on to the finer things in life, Spam. Look at that, £3. £3 for Spam. How did this become so expensive? I assumed that this would always be just the cheap and cheerful food that it was. And corned beef as well. How has this become £3? I remember when this was like £1. Corned beef, I will fight anyone who says that a corned beef butty is not one of the greatest things on this planet. Right, on we go to bread. Let's have a look. What is the cheapest loaf of bread that we can find? And I'm pretty sure it is this one here for 55p. Morrison's Savers, white medium sliced. Looks like shite, but it'll probably do the job. Right, now on to milk. And it's 90p here, yeah, for 500ml. That's not even a pint. I know there's a milkman near me who does milk way cheaper than this. So I actually might go back to the milkman. Let's bring back the milkman. Ooh, that's a good one, actually. Let me know in the comments how many of you use a milkman or a milk lady. Let me know. That's really interesting. And butter as well. God, Lurpak, you're looking at like £3.40, no, £3.50, £4.75 if you haven't got a member's card. I head down to Lidl myself and get Dan Pack. Your olive spread's mega cheap though. Don't know why that didn't get hit like olive oil. Right, now let's have a look at beer. What have we got? Let's look at a crate. What are we paying for a crate of beer these days? 16 quid for 18 cans of Stella. Less than £1 a can. It's not too bad. I've got to say, I love nothing more than knocking back a Stella with my corned beef butty. What else we got here, though? Oh, non-alkies. Let's have a quick look at these, because these, weirdly, are not cheaper than actual booze. I reckon it's because they made them too good. They made some of them so nice now that if they actually made them cheaper, no one would drink the real thing. So they just whack up the price to what it is. Because there's no alcohol tax, so surely these could be very cheap. But what would I be going for on a beautiful hot day? What would I be going that's most cost-effective while still being delicious? Is it the fancy new modern Brewdog style? Nah, it's beer continentale. Beer special, French stubbies, this is what I'm talking about. £3. I mean, you get 10 of them. It is 2.8%, but just absolutely delicious. Oh, I love these. I genuinely love these. So security did in the end, I say security, it was just a staff member who worked there, but they did come up to me and they said, look, we're all wondering, we're watching you on CCTV, what the hell are you up to? And I said, well, I'm making a video about how things have got very expensive. And I got a Freddo out of my bag because I've still got a few left, and I went, do you remember when these used to be 10p? And she went, oh, I absolutely do. So she was on my side, and I said, look, if there's any hassle, I can leave. But I was basically done in there anyway, so yeah, and it's raining, which is annoying, so I need to find another place inside. What else can I test? What else can I go and see? I do need a haircut. I'll tell you what, let's go get a haircut and see what the haircut costs me. Has it ever been done before on YouTube? A haircut in real time? In real time, let's go do that. So let's just get one last look at this mop. I mean, it's not a mop compared to what I used to have, is it? I tell you, that's interesting actually. When I did have that really long hair, and I had a couple of haircuts then, whoo, that cost a lot. I was talking like, I think it was like 30 plus pounds. So for you women out there, I understand you have a much higher price on the choppy bob than us men. So yeah, please let me know, how much are your haircuts? What do you pay for a haircut in this modern day? And what did you pay back pre, when did it all change? Pre the internet, pre-2000, let's say, pre-millennia. What did you pay? All right, there we go, haircut complete. I was gonna film in there and then I couldn't because I felt like a right bellend getting the camera out. But there we go, haircut done. And that cost me £13. I'm very happy with it. I mean, you'll probably be able to see a bit better what it actually looks like, but I wanted less hair and I've got less hair. Now, the abundance of barbershops which pop up everywhere. Hey up, pal, you all right? Sorry, I know too many people in this town. It's a good thing because it keeps the price of haircuts low. You can get a haircut for 13 quid, which I think is fair. I think that's very reasonable to remove some hair from my head. Now, is it the most aesthetic layout for a town, having loads of barbershops? I don't know. Also, you've got to be careful because I've been to that place a few times and I actually trust them. I always trust them to do a decent job. I have gone to some barbershops where I've walked in and I've walked out looking absolutely atrocious. So yeah, you've got to take the risk, but people just love having the haircuts in this day and age. I used to work with a guy, he used to get his hair cut twice a week. He always had the same haircut. I was like, mate, how does your hair never change? And he was like, twice a week I get it cut. But yeah, I'm happy with that. A little bit of a mullet thing going on. A little bit of a mullet fade going on, no problem with that. Now, talking about well-priced things, because let's have a bit of balance in this video. We've been looking at a lot of things that are overpriced, the Freddo, the olive oil, the butter. The haircut was good, so let's do one more thing, which is fair priced. And I'm going to take you into my favourite market in the world, Todmorden Market. And I'm going to go and buy one of my favourite butties in the world. And if you're from Todd, you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's go do that. Are you alright? Yeah, good, thank you. You still serving?
Only pies.
Oh, that's all right. I'll just get a pie then, please. Can I get a pork pie and I'll get a dinky beef pie, please? Damn, the butty shop I was about to show you had stopped serving butties. They were just doing pies that sold out. But I will put in some photos of just how good the butties are from there. Now, I'm actually in a WhatsApp group all about that butty shop, just because you literally spend about £3, sometimes less than £3, and the size of the butty you get, the amount of filling you get in there is absolutely outrageous. I'll put in some photos now of just how good the butties are from Ham Corner. It is next level good. Right, it's the next day actually. I just got to pause the video because I couldn't live with myself. There's no way I could have not shown you how great Ham Corner is. So yeah, I just went and got a load. This is what just over £10 got me. Look at all of that. Let me just get it out. Look at the filling on this. Got one massive butty. Look at the size of that. Another one. Just look at the wedge. Look at how much meat is in that. That is insane compared to what the prices were in Morrison's earlier. So one butty, two butty, pie, what's that? Chocky chip cookie, and a bag of meat ends for Ted, my dog, because he's having an operation today, so when he gets back. That is just value that is non-existent anywhere else in the world. Oh my lord. Have you literally ever seen anything as magnificent as that? £3. All of that food just over a tenner. Oh, back to the video. If you are ever in Todmorden, this place is unreal. And like, big wedge of a pie. I'll absolutely take that. Homemade, fresh. Yeah. Very happy with the pie, and I'm very happy with the haircut, unless you're telling me otherwise right now, because I can't really fully see it, but yeah, I think I look alright. And that shop, Ham Corner. Hey dude, how's it going? Sorry, this is why I don't film in my hometown that much anymore, because I just end up chatting to too many people. I get nothing done. But yeah, Ham Corner, that place where you can literally still get such a good meal. I mean, one butty will last you like a full day. Half of one of them butties contains enough meal for oh, it's just incredible. There's no way to describe it. Ham Corner, get down there. But yeah, and it is like the last hope for like the working class, a place where you can still get loads for your money. The inflation graph with Ham Corner, it can only be the one that's on the right side, so to speak. It's just unbelievable. And obviously I did that video a while back about fish and chips. You might have seen it, about the crazy rise of fish and chips and how a lot of fish and chip shops are shutting down. And that's a huge one as well, because not just fish and chips the meal, but I remember my staple as a kid growing up was a scallop butty. I don't know what you'll call it down south, maybe something else, but up here it's scallop butty. Just bits of fried potato chucked in a bap. Banging, so good. But when I was a kid, I remember you could get these for like 25p, literally 25p, and they'd fill you up. Now, I remember I posted a picture on Reddit. This was probably about 8 years ago, so I'll try find it and put in what I paid for a double scallop butty back then. I went in the other day for a scallop butty, it was like £2.50. Can't believe it, like scallop butty, that again, it was like such working class food that's gone. Ugh. But yeah, and obviously we're back to things that are now just expensive again. We did the nice bit with the haircut and the food, and now we're going to go get a pint of beer and discuss that one, because this is one that affects all of us, or most of us. I wonder if anyone's got it as well. I asked at the start, what is the product with the biggest markup? And it is popcorn. Popcorn is disgustingly cheap to make, so cheap to make, and yet they charge extortionate amounts, especially at cinemas. Cinemas don't make money on the cinema tickets, they don't make money on that stuff, they make money on selling popcorn. Well yeah, popcorn, pennies, less than pennies to make, can charge whatever they want. Right, there we go, pint of Guinness. I'll be honest, it is a non-alky, because I went on a stag do last week and I'm utterly broken. and I've said to myself, give yourself 2 weeks off the real stuff. How's it going, dude? Mate, I'll see you Saturday. See you then, dude. Bye-bye. So yeah, Guinness, the non-alky Guinness anyway today. Now, I was kind of, well, I wasn't hoping it'd be expensive, but I've got to say that I came to a place where this was, for a non-alky Guinness, very reasonably priced. That was £3.40 for a pint of non-alky Guinness, which I think's very, very good, because most places nowadays just charge the same for a non-alky as for an actual alcoholic pint. Sorry, there's a child screaming, and that's doing my nutty. That screaming child has left the vicinity. And yeah, a normal pint, so for an actual Guinness in here, £4.40 as well. Very, very reasonable. I feel like I found a good place here. And also, I got this, and they went, any drink you buy today, you also get a raffle ticket. You get entered into a raffle to win a hamper from the butcher in the market that I've just been in. So yeah, the pint, £3.40, and potentially I've won a hamper. So I'll let you know tomorrow as well if I actually won that. But yeah, that's a good pint. However, on the whole, we know in general pints have become very, very expensive. Unless you're going to places like Wetherspoons. Now, this isn't a Wetherspoons. I think I've just landed on Cracking Pub where they're still doing a cheap pint. But yeah, like, I remember back when I started going out, 16, used to be able to go to a pub, centre of town, £2.50 for a pint of Stella. £2.50, and this wasn't the Wetherspoons, it was just a good pub. £2.50. You could take a tenner out, you get pissed, and that's all you'd need. It was fantastic times. Now, what did I pay the other day for a pint? I paid £8.20, I think, for a pint. Yeah, I mean, if you get charged now £7 something for a pint, you think, well, I guess that's just the price of a pint. And I'm sure many people watching this video will remember a time before I was born when pints were unbelievably cheap, wonderfully cheap. I can only imagine that a pint was not a burden on one's weekly wage or hourly wage, should I say now. Like, what's the minimum wage at the moment? I've got a feeling minimum wage is £11.40. I'm going to double check this. Alright, so minimum wage is £12.20 for those aged over 21. So £12.20. You're pretty much guaranteed to be paying more than half your hourly wage for one pint. So half of what you earn on minimum wage goes on a pint. I'm not saying everyone's on minimum wage. What else is getting expensive? Train travel, eating out's crazy, mortgages. I don't have one of them, but everyone says that mortgages are expensive already. I don't know how they work, but mortgages ain't good, are they? What? Oh, fucking hell, this one. Water bill. So my water bill went up from £40 a month to £65 a month. I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with this as well. Crazy increases in water bill prices. And on the letter it said like this, oh, we know the price is rising a lot, but it's to ensure that we can give you clean, safe drinking water. And I was like, I assumed you were doing that anyway. I assumed that was what I was getting for the £40. Why are you having to put it up to 65 to give me that? Insane. Bills have gone mental. I'm trying to think of things that are still nice and cheap. Things that are still nice and cheap in this world. There ain't much. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to the White Hart Todmorden. Not a Spoons, it used to be a Spoons, it's not anymore. But yeah, cheap pints, good on you. Look at that as well. You can see the cost of that. Can you see that? Even dying costs a bomb now. £3 grand to die. Literally can't afford to live and can't afford to die. It's a tough place, tough world. This one as well. We all know it, the price of fuel, what we're currently on at the moment, £1.36 for petrol, £1.44 for diesel. But who remembers, and I certainly do. I mean, I was too young to be driving myself, but I remember the day when it went over £1. So it used to be obviously less than £1 per litre. And I remember I was driving with my dad, and I must have been very young. I can only assume I was probably less than 10, let's say. But I remember turning up to the garage with my dad, him going in and just being appalled. For the first time in his life, he was spending over £1 for the petrol, and the dial was going up higher on the price side than it was on the actual amount you were getting. But yeah, who remembers that? Who remembers when petrol became more expensive? And then it was crazy a few years back. Do you remember it was like £1.80, £1.90 before fuel. Now 136. I mean, I'm kind of happy if I ever see it at 130 now. It's been a long time since I've seen it at 120. If it's 130, I'm like, I guess that'll do. But yeah, God, imagine them days. Less than £1 per litre for filling up your car. So there we go, just a little video today, a little ramble around town, looking at the price of things, how things have gotten so expensive, how some things are still cheap, but there's not many of them. And yeah, all because of this little guy, really. The happy little delicious frog, which actually stands for so much more than that, is a symbol of something so much more than a little chocky snack. If this thing can be 3.5 times more expensive than when I was a kid, and just imagine if they did just bring it back down to 10p. Surely they could do that. Like, that can't be that much expensive to make. Like, they are making crazy profit on that. Imagine if Freddos were 10 again. Imagine if Freddos were 10p again. Sorry. The world may just be a better place. It really may. I feel like this unassuming, happy little snack actually represents something so much more. And I hope I've kind of delved into that a little bit today. Okay, so I've done the maths because I know you all want to hear it. Now, according to true inflation, from the price of 10p in 2000, the max that we should be paying for a Freddo, the max is 18.1p. However, no, stop there. Stop, because it used to be 20 grams. They shrunk it down to 18 grams. So factor in shrinkflation, and we are left at 16.3p. That is the max we should be paying for a Freddo. We're being absolutely scammed. It's bullshit. Okay, rant over. Oh, fantastic. That is fantastic.